My name is Alainka, and today we'll be covering storytelling in Power BI, like how to. So we've imported the data, we've built visuals with it, but how do you make your reports actually tell a story? There are some extra things that you need to sort of add to your report to make it interactive and to also make it flow like an actual story. And those are the things we'll be covering today. And the first of those things is bookmarks and buttons. Now, what are bookmarks? Bookmarks capture the currently configured view of a report so that you can quickly return to that view later. You can use them for different reasons, like keep track of your progress, or even build a report that looks quite like a PowerPoint, thereby telling a story with your data, with your report. So what that means is you've done a report and you want it to look in two different ways. You just don't want it to look in one way, and you don't want to do that as a new page. You want it to be sort of easier to go from one view to the other. That's when you use a bookmark, and I'm going to show us. Buttons create a more interactive experience for the report users. With the addition of buttons that have assigned actions, your report behaves similar to an app where users can hover, select, and interact with more content. Selections allow you to determine what items are visible and what items are hidden. They can also be used alongside bookmarks and buttons. So now let's go to Power BI and try bookmarks and buttons. Now, this is where we stopped last week. This is the report we were working on last week. I removed some of the visuals because it was a bit clumsy. So we now have these visuals. Now, what is a bookmark? So, for example, I'll use something simple to demonstrate it first. Then I will explain how complex it can get. So I have this year slicer here, and if I toggle to 2011, of course everything changes to show only 2011. If I toggle 2012, everything changes to 2012. If I toggle 2013, everything changes to 2013. Now, what if I want to, instead of having to toggle the different years, I want to create a bookmark? I'll come here, so from home, I'll come to view and I'll say bookmarks. Immediately I click these bookmarks, this bookmarks tab here comes up. So I need to open it so that I can see it. Now it's telling me that there's no bookmark here yet. So filter the data to get to the states you want to capture and then click add. So the state I want to capture is 2011. So I click 2011. So I want to capture these states here. Then I will say add. So instead of just leaving it as bookmark 1, like Rukayat I think was telling us, use names that you can easily remember. I can rename this bookmark 1 to 2011. Then, so now I have a bookmark 2011. Then if I change this to 2012, this is now another view. I can still add this and call this 2012. So now what this means is that instead of having to toggle from here, I can just say here from 2011, here go to 2012. Now this looks, I said I'll use a simple example first. This looks mundane because what's the difference of me toggling 2011 and 2012 when I can just come here and click 2011 and 2012? Now let's assume that the view you are trying to capture requires a lot of other changes. For example, let's say I add another slicer here. Let me come out from the bookmarks. Let's say I add another slicer here and say coming. Let's say I add another, where's the slicer again? Add another slicer and put in this slicer manufacturer. Good. So we have like let me put it as a drop down so that we can see it. So now I can come to, let me delete the bookmarks that we have before and now do this afresh. So let's say I want to show what each of the different manufacturers did in different years. So for example, I have the first manufacturer, Datsun Corporation. What did they sell in 2011? Now we'll add that as Datsun 2011. The next view, I want to see what another manufacturer, Fabric, I can barely see this thing. I want to see the second manufacturer, Sha. Okay, let me use the drop down so that I can see it. Maybe I can see it better. What the second manufacturer sold in another year, 2012. Now I'll add that as, let me see whether I can see the name. Let me just call it Fabricom. Fabricom 2012. So now now I have different bookmarks. One is showing Datum 2011, the other one is showing Fabricom 2012. And this can be more complex, where this can be, you can even entirely remove one visual. I can entirely remove this visual from this bookmark and say, so when I click this bookmark, this is what I want to see. When I click this other bookmark, this is what I want to see. So all of that is, it can be, so you can change, you can entirely change the whole this thing and it's a different visual entirely, but then you're still on the same page. You're not moving from one page to another one, and it's easier for you to also compare when you can just look at this and look at this, and you can easily change from one page to another using bookmarks. Then look at, you can even, the beauty of it is now that you can now play it like a PowerPoint. So when I say, when I come to this view, it will play. It will play this one, then it will go to the next one once I just click. So that's sort of, like I said, it makes your, so when I'm on the play, you see it here, bookmark 1 of 2. At the bottom here, you can just go to the next one, go back. So you can have up to 5 bookmarks and you just be playing it like that, like it's a PowerPoint slide. So like I said, the purpose of this thing is to make your report look sort of like a story. Now let me put back this one that I deleted. Are you still there? Can I still get it? And another way you can also use it is if you're trying to test something on you're trying to test something, just like instead of having to delete this one now, I could have just added that as a bookmark. Instead of deleting it totally, I could have just added a new bookmark, delete it. I want to see how it looks like. Maybe I'm not sure that I want to delete it. I just want to see how it looks like. I will save it as a bookmark and then I will do what I want to do. When I see it, I can revert back to my original report. So that's what bookmark does for you. Now, away from bookmarks, the next thing I want us to talk about, another thing that makes our reports tell a better story, is buttons. And what are buttons? Buttons are just, like I said before, they are buttons really that you can use to direct your report in the direction that you want it to go. So how do you add a button to your report? Let me move this guy down a bit so that I'll have space. Now, if I want to add a button to my report, I'll just come here to insert, and then I will say buttons. Now, there are different types of buttons. So which one do I want to use? Let me say right arrow to automatically bring it here, so I can move it. And because, again, you're trying to use this thing in a way that anybody that sees it will understand what it means. Now, this button being just here is useless. You have to configure it to what you want it to do. And the moment you click on the button, this format thing comes up here for you to configure what you want the button to do. Now, if you come here, it's shape, rotation, all of these things, you can, how you want it to look like. But the most important part is the action. The action is off because you've not configured it. So you put it on. After putting it on, you say what you want it to do. Type. I want to use this for page navigation. And what's the destination? Where do I want it to go to? Since we are on page 1, I want it to go to page 2. And if you're using it for a bookmark, now because we're not on any bookmark page, that's why this bookmark is showing up. But then you just say page navigation, and then it goes to page 2. So now that we've configured this button, let's test it. You just come here, control click. Once I click it, it takes us to page 2. Now on page 2, you can now have another button that takes you back to page 1. So let's say left arrow this time, and then put it here. It's just like, yeah, to go back is reasonable to position it at this place. Or if you're going forward, you position it at this right hand corner. You're going backward, position it here. And as usual, you format it, come to action, on, what do you want it to do? Page navigation. And then what's destination? Now you want it to go to page 1 because now you want it to go back. So when you control click this one, it takes you back to page 1. So you can have buttons like this on all of your pages. On page 2, of course, you can now have the one that goes back and the one that goes to the next page. And then on page 3, you can also have the one that goes back and next on the next page. And there are other actions that you can do with buttons. As you can see, reset, right arrow, left arrow, back, information, Q&A, or you can even have a blank button that you can configure to do a lot of other things. Now, we will not go through all of them because of time. There are still quite a lot of other things that we want to do. So in your practice time, try to use each of these buttons, and also what you just need to know is when you insert the button, depending on the kind of button that you put, that's what will determine what you have in the format tab. So try to practice them and ask questions on the chats when you have any questions. The last thing that I wanted to talk about on that note is selections. What items in the report are visible and what items are not visible. So on this report now, we have all of these things. If you come here and click this eye, show or hide filter pane from report readers. Is it? Sorry. I'm confused though. Where's that place where you where you show or hide this thing on the anyway, I'll come back to that because I cannot even find it right now. I'll come back to that. Let's go to the next thing that I wanted us to cover today is my PowerPoint. Advanced interactions, syncing your slicers and having drill throughs. Okay, and also edit interactions. I don't know if we did edit interactions in the last class, but I'll just go over it again. What edit interactions typically does is on one page of your report, you have different visuals, slicers, and all of that. You can decide how you want each of these visuals to interact with each other using the edit interactions function. And when I show it, you understand that better. Sync slicers, what sync slicer does for you, as the name implies, is synchronizes your slicers across different pages of your report. So such that if you have a slicer on page 1, page 2, page 3, but you want all of them to function the same way, you can synchronize them so that when you select 2011 on page 1, you want all the slicers on page 2 and page 3 to also show 2011. That's what sync slicers does. Now, drill through is how will I explain it? It's like something that allows you to get more information about a certain data point. But now that more information is on another page. It's not on the same page where you are, but you can from that page go straight to the exact page where the extra information that you want to see is. Now the first one, edit interactions. The first thing, let me use this slicer to show it first. Let me change this guy to all. Now when you click this slicer and you come here, I think I had clicked this thing before. Normally this is how it will look like. When you click this slicer and then you come to your format pane, the moment you highlight edit interactions, you see all of these symbols on top of all the visuals. And what all of this mean is that there are 3 types. There's none, there's filter, and there should be one other one, highlight. It's also filter. I think because this is a slicer, the highlight isn't coming up. Yeah. So if we use this one instead and you try to edit interaction, you see the 3 options. It's either none, highlight, or filter. Now, don't get this thing, don't let it confuse you, because sometimes it can be confusing. Where we are, it is the interaction of these bar charts, sales by category, that we are editing. Now, if you come here and you click none, what this none means is that anything you do on sales by product category is not going to affect this guy at all. It's not going to affect him. He will not even shake. He will not even notice that you're doing anything. And I'll show you. Look, and if I come and click on TV and audio, you see that nothing is changing. Put your eyes on the average of profit by channel where I click none. Nothing is changing. If I click cell phones, nothing is changing still. If I click computers, nothing is changing. Now, if I come and change this none, I change it to highlight. You see that something has changed. If I change to TV and audio, something has changed. If I change to cell phone, something has changed. If I change to music, movies, something has changed. Now, the difference between what is changing and what is changing, what you can see is that one section of the chart is highlighted while the other section is still showing, but is faint, is not highlighted. Now, let me change it to filter so that you see the difference between highlight and filter. If I change it to filter, what happens is that for us to notice what happens very well, you see that the part that is highlighted there is 1.2K. The moment you change it to filter, what it does is that it totally takes out what is not required. So what is showing now is music, movies, and audiobooks. That's that 1.2K that was highlighted before. What this means is that when you say highlight, it doesn't throw away the whole data. It just highlights the ones that you are emphasizing on. But the moment you change it to filter, it doesn't even show any other thing at all, whether highlight or no highlight. It doesn't show it at all. It filters it totally and shows you only music, movies, and if you change it, this is cell phones. If you change it, this is TV and video. If you change it, so it's only showing you, not only is it just highlight, it's only showing you computers. If you change it to highlight, now it's highlighting computers, but it's showing the others, just that it's faint. So that's what edit interactions does. Now, the reason why, for example, total cost does not have highlights is because it's not a visual. There's no way to highlight one thing and show the other one faint. So that's why the only option here is either is interacting, is either is not interacting at all, or is filtering. So if you come here now, if you try to test this one, if I say none, whatever I change here doesn't affect this guy, doesn't affect this guy. If I come and change it to filter, immediately it starts affecting it. So with this, and this, because this is per visual, you can really, it gives you the flexibility to decide how you want any of the visuals to interact with each other. And the difference I was trying to explain is, so when you click here and you set these ones to whatever, what that means is that whenever you change something here, this is how all these other ones will behave. Now, if I come and click here, now this one has become is now the controlling guy. And then how do I want these ones to behave when I change something here? So I can say, okay, I don't want this guy to interact with this guy. So when I click here, nothing changes there. When I click here, nothing changes there. But it has not changed the setting that I put on this guy. This guy is still interacting with him. This guy is interacting with him. It is this guy that I told not to interact with him. So it's very flexible. You can change how you want each of the individual visuals to interact with themselves. What's going on? Why is our total sales blank? Okay. I think we didn't sell we didn't sell one of these things at all online. So that is edit interactions. It's really very flexible. You can decide how you want any of the filters to interact with each other, even including your button. You can decide how you want them to interact. What is after edit interactions is sync slicers. So for sync slicers to work, you need to have at least 2 slicers on 2 different pages of your reports, at least 2. It can be 4, it can be 5. So what I will do is I'll put another year slicer on page 2, so that I will use that to demonstrate slicers. Let me remove this bookmark to find space. So I put another year slicer here. I want to verify that this guy is added. Okay. And you can't sync if the slicer is different, like one is year, one is manufacturer. You can't sync them all. They have to be like slicing the same thing. because they can't talk to each other if they have different things inside them. So I'll create another year slicer here. Drop down. Now I want to sync my slicers. I'll come here to view. Sorry, I usually like to start from home. I'll come here to view, and then you see something here that says sync slicers. The moment you click it, it pops up. Select a slicer in one of your report pages and start syncing it across all the pages. So I'll select this slicer. Already it's telling me that there's one slicer on page 1 and another one on page 2. Add and sync with all pages or select specific pages. So which ones do I want it to sync with? I want it to sync with page 1 and page 2. So now I've synced these two slicers. What it means is that if I click 2011 here, this guy on page 2 will also be showing 2011. Can you see? This guy was on all before, but now because I have synced them and I set this one to 2011, this guy is also set to 2011. Now I can go any direction. If I change this one to 2012, if you come back to page 1, you see that this one would have also gone to 2012. And the beauty of syncing your slicers, you can say, okay, so why am I having two different slicers? Why can't I just have only a slicer on page 1? The idea of having the slicer on both pages is that you can control it from any of the pages. So if you're on this page and you want to filter or you want to slice to 2013, you don't have to go back to page 1 to go and look for the slicer. You have the slicer on all of the pages, but then they can control each other such that when you click 2013 on one page, the other page also picks up 2013. Or let's say you even come here, you click multiple, click 2012 and 2013. If you come here, you also see 2012 and 2013. So syncing slicers just sort of makes your life easier. Instead of having to filter 2 times, you can just filter once and then all of the pages of your reports are synced. And if you can also work even if you have up to 5, 6, 7 pages, just like you saw in that page. You see that you can sync all of them together. So now that we are done syncing slicers, the next one is a bit tricky, but I'll try to explain it in a way that you understand it. And that next one is drill through. Now, let's say that, let me select all in this here so that now we have you have this chart here that shows profits by manufacturer. You have 2 manufacturers. Now let's assume that you want to see something else about each of these manufacturers, but there's no space again on this page, and you don't want somebody to be looking for the page where you have the extra information about manufacturer. You want them to just click from here and go to that page. How do you do it? You want them to drill through this manufacturer and see more things about manufacturers, but you don't want them to struggle to look for it. You create a new page anywhere on your reports. It can be 10 pages away, 50 pages away. You create a new page. You call it, let's say you want to see now this time around, not profits, maybe what quantity each of the manufacturers sold. So where's that manufacturer page? Where's where? Is there a reason why only 2 manufacturers are showing? Let me not use manufacturer. Let me use something else because I'm struggling to understand why that chart is the way it is. So let me use total sales by product category. So you want to see some other information about the different categories. Now you come to page 5, your new page, wherever it is. Move this manufacturer and put. Now you put that product per category. Let's say you want to see. What now? See, you want to see the subcategories under each of the category, or you want to see the promotions you did under each category, and then the order quantity. No, it can't be here now. Yeah, so it can be a table, really. It can be anything. Let me change this order quantity type, or be the format, so that we can see properly. So like I said, it could be anything. What you want to show, what you want to drill through to, it could be anything, but it just has to be related to where you're coming from. So like I said, we are drilling through from product category. So you can want to see anything about the different categories. You want to see the price, you want to see the quantity, you want to see what states sold higher or whatnot. Now, after creating this page, the next thing you need to do is to come here to this drill through. Come here to this drill through and say allow drill through when used as category. So what this means is that you have set this page as a drill through page. We're not using this cross reports now because this cross reports technically means that you are drilling through across different reports. But this one is just within this report. So we're not going from one report to another. So now that you have set this page as a drill through page, you come here, you come back to your original page, yeah, and then this is the chart that has category. You want you want people to see from cameras, let them see the other things that happened on cameras. You right click here and then you say you're supposed to say, okay, I'm coming. This thing wants to do me more you look the less you see. Let me use something else. Let me use a chart. No. Where are regular charts now? Okay. you're supposed to I'm supposed to set this guy as a drill through. Let me name it category drill. Since acting up. There's supposed to be a place here where I'll set it as a drill through. I don't know why I can't find it. I'm coming, guys. Sorry. I cannot find the place I'm supposed to set it.
What are you looking for?
So, you know, there's a place here where you're supposed to set it as a drill through page.
Okay, drill through.
But I cannot find it.
No, okay, remember when to drill through, you need to create a hierarchy. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But over here, we don't have hierarchies.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. We didn't create hierarchies here. Remember, this is beginner's class. So we didn't talk about hierarchies here.
Hierarchies.
Yeah, that's why you can't find the drill through.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm coming. Let me just.
We don't have hierarchies on this data set. Yeah, so we're unable to do drill through.
Drill through.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was. Okay, so let me share my screen back. So let me share my screen. Anyways, typically the way drill throughs work is that when you create this page and you set it as a drill through page, like Gloria, like Frank has said, because we don't have a hierarchy on this guy, that's why I can't find the drill through thing, because I know it's usually here. So but usually the way it works is that, assuming you have set this page as a drill through page, what happens is that when
Okay,
you come,
sorry, Yinka. Yeah, Yinka, if you want to do the hierarchy, you could do it under products. Yeah, because you have the product category, product name. You can create a hierarchy, then you do the drill through if you want to do it here. Yeah.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because you have we can create categories here. We can create a hierarchy here. Yeah. Mm.
That will take time. But let me just, okay, we still have quite some time. Product category and product subcategory. Anyway, as I was saying, so typically the way it just works is that, so when you start from this, from the initial page, Power BI just be hanging. Okay, product category and product subcategory.
Subcategory. And product name.
Okay, sorry. Maybe we didn't go through creating hierarchies, but yeah, this is basically how it's done. When something is like a subset of the other, so for example, year, month, day, or here like we have a product category, product subcategory, and then product name. So now this is a hierarchy, sort of. So when you have a hierarchy, you can, have I clicked now? When you have a hierarchy, you can sort of drill up and down the different stages or different branches of the hierarchy. So for example, this is product category. If I click this arrow down, it takes me to subcategories. And then if I go down again, it goes to product name. That's how hierarchies work. Now, if you were using this to go to um, if you were using this to go to, oh, fantastic. So now if I come here to this page one and I start from product category, immediately you start hovering here, you see right click to drill through. So this extra breakdown that I did here, because I don't want it to occupy space here, I did it on another page. So the moment I right click here, I will now see drill through. This drill through takes me to category drill through. And remember that here I've already clicked on games and consoles. So the moment I go here, the only thing I will see here will be games and consoles. So sorry, cameras and camcorders is what I clicked. Then I can start drilling down and drilling down. Thank you, Franca, for saving my life. Because I was so confused why the
You're welcome, Yinka.
thing wasn't
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah, it's because it's a beginner's class. Remember, that's why we
That's
didn't
why
put
we
the
didn't do all of the
hierarchy on this.
hierarchies. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I get it.
We'll
So
do that.
as I was saying, so let's assume that you want to see computers. You right click on computers, you drill through, go to the category drill through. So all these ones are the subcategories under computers. If you go back up, can go back up, you see computers. If you come back here, and then you want to see cell phones, you write category drill through. You see cell phones, and you can drill it down to all of the bottoms of it. So that's how drill throughs work. It's just adding flesh to your reports when you don't want everything to be clubbed together on one page. So this page can be the overview, and you can have, the way it works, you can actually have drill throughs for all of this. So you can have one page as your sort of maybe executive summary page. Then you have a category drill through, you have a channel drill through, you have a, if you had a duty for states, you have a state drill through, like that. So if you want to see more details, you just be clicking from here and be going to the drill through page. That's how drill throughs work. Yeah, don't show me shade today. So yeah, the last and final thing that I wanted us to talk about is
thank you,
mobile
Franca.
view, and
You're
also
welcome.
publishing your report to Power BI service. So now, as you have your reports here, yeah, you can send it to somebody's phone and you want the person to open it on their phone. But because of the way this whole page is, what that means is that the person will either have to be turning his phone to landscape view, or the person will be scrolling from left to right to see the report properly. But because you want to enhance the user experience of the people that are viewing your reports, you can optimize these reports for mobile view. And what that means is that when somebody is reading your report on their phone, they can read it properly. So how do you do this? You come to view, and then you see this mobile layout here. You see it says design your report for mobile devices. So once you click this mobile layout, what it does is it shows you a screen that looks like a phone screen. So now this is all the pages of your, sorry, all the visuals in your report. Arrange it on the phone by yourself the way you want somebody to see your reports if they are looking at it on their phone. And again, flexibility. Power BI is telling you, I don't want to help you to arrange it before you say the way I arranged it was not good. Arrange it by yourself. If somebody is reading your report on the phone, how do you want the person to see it? So, of course, the first thing I would do is open. So the first thing I'll do is carry my logo. So you're literally going to be dragging and dropping everything the way you want it to look like. So I'll put my logo here, and I'll put my heading, sales analysis report. Put my heading here. I think I can change the I can change the font size because this is not going to work in the mobile reports. I can't change the font size here, except I go back to the report. So anyway, okay, let me just increase it a bit. Sales analysis. And put your logo. Then you start putting your visuals. You put these two first. So this is really a bit of a UI UX. Total cost. And again, like I said, it's up to you to actually decide how you want to arrange it. So total sales. This is too big. Total costs. You can put your slicer by the side here. There's so small space here. One slice on the side here. Second slicer is dropped down, so you can hide it here too. So if this is just you UI UXing. Okay, this is UI, not really UX. Designing the UI layout of your report in such a way that somebody that is reading it on a phone will see everything on the report and they will still see it properly. Nothing is missing. Last thing we have here. And so the way this mobile screen works is not just the length, it's not just the normal length of phone. You can scroll it, so it's like, I don't want to say till infinity, but like you can really keep scrolling it, scrolling it, scrolling it. It can contain, no matter how long your report is, it can be optimized for mobile view. What it just means is that on the person's phone, when the person is viewing it, the person will be scrolling, scrolling, scrolling until they get to the end of the report. And once you have this mobile layout on your report, and it's saved. Anytime you share the report and somebody opens it on a phone, it automatically detects that, oh, this person is opening this thing on a phone, and then the person will view it in this mobile layout. If you still want to put your button, you can also hide it somewhere here. So voila. There you have mobile view. So this is how anybody that is looking at your report on the phone will see it. And you can continue to page 2, continue pasting all of them till the end of your report. So we'll go back to, you have to, yeah, we'll go back to our normal view. But if you go back to that mobile layout now, that setting that you set is already saved there. So anybody that opens your report on mobile view will see it like this. But you have to do this to come back to your normal desktop view. Final thing that we want to look at is publishing your report to Power BI service. Now, the first thing you need to do before you can publish your report to Power BI service, you need to have a Microsoft account. If you've joined any of the classes, you've probably been taught how to create any other classes. I think we've been taught how to create a dev account. I don't know if we shared it in this class. I think I did in the first class. I shared a link to where you can create a dev account. So you need to have a Microsoft account to publish your report to Power BI service. And why do you need to publish your reports when you can just leave it here? The easiest or the most important reason why you need to publish your reports is because at any time, anything can happen to your laptop. Publishing your reports to Power BI service is just you having your reports in the cloud, so that at any point in time, if anything happens to this your desktop that you are using, or let's even say you traveled or they stole your laptop, something happened to your laptop, once your report is published to Power BI service, if you open Power BI service on any system at all and you log into your Microsoft account, your reports will be there complete. You can download it and continue what you were doing. And what Power BI service does, like I listed in this place, when you have finished designing your reports, you can publish it to your workspace in Power BI service. When you publish a report, Power BI Desktop packages your reports and data, including all your visualizations, queries, custom measures. Everything that you've done in that report is published to Power BI service, even the data sets. So you can take that data set from Power BI service and go and use it for any other thing. But the first step to all of this is publishing your report to Power BI service. Now, immediately you come, now how do you do that? You saved your report, you've done everything you want to do. Let me check that I've saved this report. Save. Saved your report, you've done everything you want to do. You come here to, I've not saved it though. You saved your reports, you come here to publish. Workspaces. That's saved now. You come here to publish. The moment you click this publish, now another good thing about publishing your report to Power BI service is that it makes it easier for you to share it. It's asking me for my email address because apparently I have not signed in to my Microsoft account on Power BI. So you can see this sign in here. I've not signed in. So I hope I remember my password. So you sign in, it will prompt you to sign into your Microsoft account, which I'm doing right now. When you publish your report to Power BI service, it also makes it easy for you to share your report. So you want to share it with other people in your organization. You don't need to start attaching it, and you just add their email. Once you just say share, you add their email to the report. They'll be able to view the report, and then you can now set different levels of authority. That you want them to be able to edit the report, you want them to just view the report, you want them to, anything you want them to do with the report, then they can do it because you've published your report on Power BI service. From there, you can also even get a link that you can, so for example, you have a blog where you are talking about, you have a blog where you're talking about the report that you did. You can also just, you have a link that you can just put in that blog, and then people can follow that link and see your report. I've signed in before now.
Okay, I think you have SYLER.
Instead of Styler.
Yes,
Oh, Styler.
Yeah.
Thank you. Coming. So normally, assuming you had signed into your Power BI service, you had signed in from here before, it won't put you through all of this stress. But I wanted to just show us like everything from start to finish. So once you're done signing in, in your Power BI service, there's what we call workspaces. In case you have maybe different categories of work that you are doing, you can create different workspaces to store all of those reports. Now you can see I'm signed in. You can see my name here, Olayinka Styler. So my report is now trying to publish. So you see that I already have, in my Power BI service, I already have all of these workspaces. So it's asking me which of the workspaces I want to publish this report to. So I'll click my workspace and say select. Now my report has been published. It will tell me that my report has been published. After publishing your report, you now need to log into Power BI service now on the internet. And please, before you publish Power BI service, you have to be connected to the internet. You cannot log into Power BI service on the internet and see the report that you published. So I think I can go there from here instead of looking for the website. So I'll just show us what it looks like in Power BI service. Again, because it's a beginner's class, there's a whole lot of capabilities of Power BI service that will cover either in the intermediate class or in the advanced class. But here we're just showing you that you can publish a report to Power BI service, and from there you can share it. You and your teammates can even be working on the reports together. Different people will be doing different parts of the report as long as they have given them access to the report. Also, you can share your reports. You can get a link that you can share on a blog post or anywhere you're talking about your report. So this Power BI service that I'm trying to open. Can you mute your mic? Somebody's mic is on. Internet will disgrace you. Okay. And if for any reason you didn't click directly on that link that brought me here, you can just come to this app.powerbi.com. That's the website for Power BI service. You just come and then you sign in. You can see your workspace. I think that's what I'll just do now since this guy is hanging. Oh, while we're waiting for this guy to come up, if anybody has any questions on what we have done so far, please you can ask now. I think I'm signed in on another account. This is what happens when you have multiple accounts. Okay, I'm signed in on another account on my Power BI service. So I have to sign out and sign in to the account that I published. So, does anybody have any questions? Let me check the chat, see if there's anything there.
There are no questions, Inka.
Okay, there's nothing on the chat, so okay.
No.
Okay, let me just try to sign in to Power BI service. Franca.
Yes. Yep.
So I had an idea regarding the project.
Okay.
This is basically like our last class for this beginners class, but yes. I wanted to say that people should do their projects, submit what time now? I was just looking at a situation where they can submit sometimes within the week, and then we'll review it and pick like top 3, and those 3 people would demo. We'll do a demo next week. So in place of next week's class, we'll just have those people doing a demo. So we'll inform them, like, say on Friday morning, that they'll be presenting on Saturday. So they will just walk us through how they cleaned their data, how they did their visuals, how they, I don't know if they added any buttons or anything, and all of that. And we can maybe give, of course, mentors will be the judges, and then we can maybe give a prize to whoever comes first place, just for us to actually see people practice what we have done so far.
Okay, that would be nice. That would be nice, yeah, because on they could, those that are ready with their projects can do the presentation, like you say, next Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday, same time, 6 o'clock. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
to the same time, this same
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Is Gloria
Okay.
okay? Gloria is here. Is Choma
Yeah,
here?
Gloria is on call, and Chioma too. They're all on call.
Sorry, Yinka.
Yeah, Gloria.
Okay, I wouldn't know if we should ask the students if they have any challenge, maybe 5-10 minutes. Let's see their screen and at least know that we're imparting.
Oh, okay. Actually, I've been asking for questions since. So, is there anybody that has a question that requires you to share your screen?
Yes, because if they have any challenges with their projects, those that have started, we can discuss it since we have some time now. Yeah.
How's my Power BI service not open?
Or has anybody started working on their project? Has anybody started working on his or her projects? Yeah.
Yes, ma.
Okay, you could raise your hands if you started working on your projects, and let's know if you have any challenges. How many people have started working on their projects? I can't see any hands raised. Okay.
It's Fumilayo Rahim.
Okay, Fumilayo.
Who else? Any other?
Okay, please, let's come back to this. Let me finish the Power BI service and so that I can stop the recording, then we can discuss.
Oh, okay.
So, after we published our report, signed into my Power BI service, as you can see, the 2 workspaces that I had, this is DA100 and my workspace. I published that report into my workspace. So you open my workspace, you see everything that is there. So that report, the name was Textilers Sales Copy. And you remember that I said that Power BI will publish both your report and the data set in case you want to use data set for something else. So you can see the report here. This one is the report and this one is the data set. And you can see the date and time and everything. So these are all other reports that are published before and what have you. So you can just open the report, see what it looks like. It looks exactly like whatever it is that you had in your Power BI desktop. As you can see here, so your report is now here in the cloud, same way you have it in your desktop. It has this date updated blah 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 because anytime you update it on your desktop and you just sort of republish it, the date updated will now change. So the last time you updated it is what we show here. And these are all the pages that we have: page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, and our category deal through. So like I said, from here you can see the different ways where you can share your report. If you click this share, you see all the different ways where you can share your report, people in your organization, people outside, and what have you. You can also export your reports. Once you export it as PDF, as PowerPoint, as whatever. And all of these are the different functionalities that are available in Power BI service that I said before we'll cover in advanced or intermediate class. But yeah, this is how your reports will look like in Power BI service. Here, this shared with me, you can see if there are reports that you did not create, but people have shared them with you. You see them here and all of that. So this is Power BI service. And this brings us to the end of today's class. If you don't have any questions still, I'll stop the recording now and then we can discuss how we want to do the project.